episode of Creative Writing Advice with me, JJ Barnes. If you don't know me, I'm JJ. I'm the author of How to Write a Story, which is out now from Siren Stories, which is this YouTube channel, and it's on Amazon. And I take you from the beginning of the story all the way through to the end of your story. I cover the midpoint, characterization, everything in between. Hopefully in a really clear and easy to access way that will make your storytelling process enjoyable and something that you feel confident with. I always say this, but I'm going to say it again. On a Monday I do something a bit different because during the week I do videos where I take writing advice, story structure, tips, tricks, hints, things like that. I talk about them, and yeah, I try to sort of talk about them in a way that will make them easy for you to follow so you can use them in your own writing. But on a Monday I do something a little bit different. I get sent questions about anything. I do my Ask Me Anything series where you send in questions about literally anything and I get them across my social media. I get them in comments on here. I take them all, I put them into this little bag that I stole from my child, and yeah, I try to give you the best answers I can. I try to be as honest as possible. I don't lie. I sometimes refuse to answer them if they're incredibly personal, but for the most part I just tell you what you want to know because you want to get to know me better, and this seems like a really good way of doing it. So I'll dive right in. I don't do all of them because I get sent quite a lot and I have to sort of mix them all up. So some are older, some are newer, but I'll dive right in and just do them at random and we'll see what comes out. And as I say, if I get like a really rude one, I tend to just not answer. Okay. How do you take your coffee? Hot and frequently. I have one on the go right now. Here, my little travel cup. I love my coffee and I'm always tired. So yeah, basically I like it quite strong and I have it with oat milk, no sugar, and that's about it. But as soon as it goes cold I don't like it, so I have it in my travel mug now so that it doesn't go cold as quickly. Because I'm always busy. I have this problem. I'm always busy. I'm always doing things. So I'll make my coffee, I'll get my mug, I'll sit down, I'll drink some of it, and then I'll be so distracted by a million jobs I've got to do that by the time I pick it up again, it's gone cold, and I'm like, ugh. It's a real problem for coffee people. All right, let's see. Do you ever use a typewriter? No, I don't. My dad used to have one when I was little, back in the 80s. My dad had a typewriter, which I used to love. I used to love the way it was like clunk, 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 and I liked the smell of it and watching like the ink be pressed. I enjoyed the use of a typewriter. It was like there was a real definite way the keys went down. Whereas now, like, as I write on a laptop, it's like and like there's barely any movement. It's just like a sort of little click. But typewriters, you had a proper like clunkety, clunkety, clunkety. Yeah, I loved it. But no, I don't use a typewriter. I'd actually quite enjoy owning a typewriter one day. But I have no space for things like that at the minute. I've just got too many children all over the place. But I like a good typewriter. I think they're pretty things, and I like the smell. But as I say, no, I write on a laptop. All right. Have you ever had dessert pizza, which is different than pizza for dessert? Now, I've seen those, right? They're like short crust pastry, like the sweet pastry, right, with chocolate and chocolate shavings and strawberries and then chocolate sauce and stuff. And no, I haven't. Probably because I'm not particularly a dessert person. Although I would like that. Because I have seen them and they look really, really nice. And I do like chocolate and strawberries and things. But if I'm like out, if I'm having, you know what I mean? You know, sometimes you're like, oh, would I rather have a starter or a dessert? Because you you don't want to be able to, you don't want to eat a full thing. You're like, I'll just pick. I would always eat the starter, so I never really look at a dessert menu very often. But maybe I should, because now I'm talking about it, I pretty much want to eat a dessert pizza, so maybe I will investigate in future. Alright. If you and Jonathan woke up to learn that there was no other evidence beside your memory of your kids, what would you do? That is dark. That is dark. What would we do? I mean, go crazy, probably. Ugh. It gives me the wiggles. I complain bitterly about my children all the time and how much I would like space from them, especially now we're in this lockdown situation. And I'm like, oh, for a night off, just to not be around children for just a short period of time, just to breathe. But in reality, not having makes me feel sick. Honestly, I would just spend my entire life if like literally nobody else remembered them apart from me and John, and like the world denied their existence. There's no movie like that. I think that happens in Red Eye or something. A film with a plane. I feel Jodie Foster, not Red Eye. That was Cillian Murphy, wasn't it? But anyway, I think there's a film about that. I would probably dedicate my entire rest of my existence to finding my children and proving that they are real, because I would go mental, crazy, struggling to handle that reality. So yeah, I would just lose my mind. Ugh, real dark. Okay. Okay. How much of what Ivy wants is based on real life? Ooh. Okay. So, I have talked a bit before about how my new book, What Ivy Wants, is quite personal to me. And yeah, there's some there's some real life stuff in that. It is fiction, like, don't get me wrong, it is completely fiction. It's not real. It's like, I'm not Ivy. I have no aspirations to be an architect like she does, and like she's very different to me in a number of ways. But there are definite similarities, and I was able to lift quite a lot of real life stuff and flush it out onto the page. There's a literal conversation I had with my mother that I just took from life and put into the book. So Ivy's mom, Emmeline, they get drunk and they talk and they cry, and she talks about how she trusted him with her daughter and she let him take her, and she believed in him, and she feels really guilty because she believed that he would be good to her daughter and he wasn't. And that is a legit conversation that I had with my mother. So yeah, it has a lot of real life, but it is fiction, like I promise. Like Maya and Julia and Stephen, they are all made up people. But I used a lot of real life experiences. A lot. But I swear, it is fiction. You know how at the beginning of this I talked about how sometimes I get rude ones and I refuse to answer them? Like, they all go into the bag because I'm like, look, if you want to know it, I don't mind reading it out, talking about it, but I'm not going to be just like giving you your internet jollies. Have you ever been in a threesome or been curious about a threesome? This is going in the pile of questions that is a none of your business pile, because my sex life is mine. It is between me and whomsoever I am in that sex life with at that point in time. So previous sex life partner relationships are with previous people, and current is with current, and it is between me and them and not you. So none of your business. Right. What's the most interesting object in your room? This one. Most interesting object in this room. Well, to be fair, probably the filming kit. They're quite good. I've got my lovely, very good quality camera that I got for filming our movie. That's right there. And I've got a big light there. good, nice sturdy tripod there. And I think that is an unusual thing because most rooms don't have those in. As I said before, I'm also very fond of the coffee that's in here. Oh God. Yeah, probably the camera kit, because that's an unusual thing to have in a room. Most little houses on my little road probably, oh, I say that, but what if they've got some things going on that are their business and not mine? You never know. Right. How many have I done? Not too many, not too many. Okay. How? Right. Okay. Sometimes this happens where I get a little run of, do you have any fetishes? That goes on the none of your business pile, right? I get that you want to know it. I don't mind acknowledging that you want to know it. I don't know why you want to know it. None of your business. Alright. Are you romantic? I think so. I'm not into gushy romance stuff. Like, I'm not sort of waiting for someone to write me like a romantic poem, and I've no need to be serenaded or have hundreds of flowers rock up. Like, I'm not into that kind of romance. I'm not interested in performative romance where it sort of feels like it's done for other people because it's like so sort of, look, behold my romance. But I like romance when it's a personal thing, when it's about sort of thinking about the person you love and what actually matters to them and what they really would benefit from and feel good about. And it could be something grand, like it could be something big and romantic if the person you want to be romantic with would enjoy that. But it can also be something small, just thinking about it. So for instance, when I'm very stressed and anxious, if my like anxiety stuff is really playing up, I'm a really bad picker. I pick. I'll pick until I bleed. And I find that if I have pistachio nuts, because you have to deshell them, it will, if my hands are, because it'll be instinctive, I won't be thinking about it, I'll just like savage myself. But if I have pistachio nuts, I can sit there shelling them and eating them, which is always nice because they're lovely. And it stops me from picking. And this was to me, this was very romantic. John knew what was happening, what I was doing, and he ordered like these 3 massive sacks of pistachio nuts that were delivered. And like, he just knew. He didn't have to do something big and grand with flowers, but he saw what I needed and he knew how he could do something for me that would actually be kind and generous and sweet and thoughtful and sensitive. And there was no judgment. It was just, I bought these, and I thought that was incredibly romantic because, yeah, it was not about other people's perception of romance or me. It was just about me. What tier are you in? Oh, this is an old question because we aren't in tiers anymore. We were in tier 3, but now, because obviously the country's in full lockdown, well, until Monday when the schools go back, and we have our little roadmap of how to get out of it. But whether we go back into tiers or not, who knows? Because I think our little area is one of the more infectious zones. So if they do go back into tiers, we'll probably go back into tier 3, is what I would expect. Well, I won't do too many more because I always end up going off on one. Rambling, and then these videos end up like incredibly long. Alright. Do you like Peep Show? Yeah, I used to like Peep Show. I wasn't like crazy about it. I didn't like sort of collect the box sets or watch it like loyally or anything like that. But I liked it. Whenever I watched it, I had a good time. I thought it was good. Right, one more, because otherwise, as I say, these videos get really long. Right. back in time, what advice would you give your younger self? I would never say don't have this experience or don't have that experience, because I've talked before about how I've had things happen and made choices and experiences that I'm not happy about and haunt me, like really, some of them very much, but also they all led to me in my life, and I don't feel like I'm supposed to be in a different life. I don't feel like I'm supposed to be a different person. I feel like I'm on the path that I'm meant to be on, and I'm not where I want to be yet by any stretch, but I'm on the path towards where I want to be. So I wouldn't tell myself to not marry that guy or not go out with that guy, because then I might not have my children and my life and my partner and my situation. So I'd probably just say hang on, like just the thing you love, writing and stories and art and creativity, the thing you love is worth it, and not everybody will believe it is. Not everybody will think that that's something you should pursue, and not everybody will encourage you or support your choices. And some people will really actively be shitty towards you. But don't give up. Just hold on, because it comes right. That is what I would say. Okay, so thank you very much for doing another episode of Ask Me Anything with me and for your questions. I promise I will get through all of them eventually. As I say, they come in and I stick them in, and yeah, so I will, I promise. I've done a whole bunch now, and I will do a whole bunch next time. Join me again on Wednesday and Friday this week at 9:30 a.m. If you subscribe to this channel and put on the little dingy bell, I'll tell you whenever a video comes out. And I will be doing the writing advice, the tips, the tricks, the things to encourage you and support you on your journey to becoming a more confident writer. And yeah, if you go to my website, which is jjbarnes.co.uk, over there you'll find links to all my social media, all the work I've got going on, the What I Do Once book that I just talked about that came out recently, and all my art and all my stuff, and there's my social media, so you can come and chat to me over there. And you can drop a comment on here if you want to ask me any of the questions to go in the bag, or anything at all. If you want to talk about any of my answers I've given, that's cool. I love chatting with people in the comments, it's fun. So yeah, chat, say hi, come again. I'll be doing more things going on all the time. That's what I'm doing. Bye.